Hey Brewers fans, how we doing? How are we feeling after Josh Hader just got traded to the Padres? Josh Hader just got traded to the Padres a couple of hours ago. At the time of me recording this, it was a couple hours ago. And, Brewers fans aren't happy about it. I've talked with quite a few Brewers fans about this. I work with a lot of them, and none of them are happy about it. My girlfriend, very upset. She's not happy about this. So, in this video, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be shedding some light on this trade. Josh Hader, incredible pitcher. Probably the best relief pitcher in all of baseball. But my goal for this video is going to be trying to show Brewers fans that there is a bright side to this. That although Josh Hader will no longer be a Milwaukee Brewer, you can still be excited about the trade for what it is and for who they got back in return. And you can be excited about both now and the future. So, let's get into this trade. So, in case you missed it, let's talk about it. The Padres require left-handed pitcher Josh Hader from the Brewers, and in exchange, the Brewers get left-handed pitcher Taylor Rogers, right-handed pitcher Dinelson Lamet, left-handed pitching prospect Robert Gasser, who was number 7 in the Padres system, and number 28 prospect Esteury Ruiz. He's an outfielder. So, I want to start just kind of by highlighting these, particularly this prospect that the Brewers got, Robert Gasser. So, I didn't really know that much about him, but in doing a little bit of research, he looks pretty good. So this is what I have pulled up here. I have the prospect rankings in 2022. I pulled up the Brewers list. They've updated the Brewers list to have Gasser and Ruiz, and they rank 8th and 9th currently in the Brewers system. So honestly, when you just look at the prospects they got back, they got 2 prospects and they got 2 major leaguers. Just looking at the prospects they got back, it's a pretty decent haul. 8th and 9th in the Brewers system, and Gasser's the number 1 pitcher that the Brewers now have in their system, joining Ethan Small at the top of that list. I particularly wanted to look at Gasser, though. He's currently in Double-A. He features a fastball, slider, and changeup that are all plus pitches, not to mention decent control. I just want to say, this is a great get by the Brewers. This guy, while he may not impact the team for maybe 2 seasons, the Brewers are great at having these guys who have just natural pitching stuff and turning them into elite pitchers. This guy will probably come up in like 2 years, maybe 1, as a reliever. They'll transition him into a starting pitcher. They do this with all of their starters. Think Brandon Woodruff, Corbin Burns, Freddie Peralta, Adrian Hauser, Aaron Ashby. They all start them off as relief pitchers, transition them into starting roles, and they thrive. There's literally not been a Brewers pitcher that has struggled with this system to this point. And Robert Gasser, he's going to be no exception. I think this was one of the biggest things that the Brewers are probably looking for. A young pitcher that they can develop into a really strong starter down the road. Now, the Brewers are currently in the thick of a division race with the St. Louis Cardinals. So, what do they do to compete for this season? Obviously, Josh Hader being traded kind of hurts them. But I want to shine some light on how they actually have improved for this season. Even though they've lost Josh Hader, I think that in the end, this is going to be a great move for the Brewers, not just for the future, but for this season as well. So I want to start by talking about Josh Hader this season. So this is Josh Hader's baseball reference page. And Josh Hader, if you see right here, Josh Hader has a 0.0 wins above replacement this season. That's not very good. He also has a 4.4 ERA, also not very good. You look down at his current career stats here, just standard pitching stats, and he has a 97 ERA plus so far for this season, which is by far the worst of his career. This is his first below average pitching season so far in his career. So although the save total leads Major League Baseball right now at 29, he's actually having, during the course of this whole season, he's having a pretty not great year. For someone that's your closer, you don't want them to have a below 100 ERA plus. That means they're a below average pitcher. You don't want that out of your closer. Additionally, the 4.24 ERA is the worst of his career. It's just not something that you want to see from a guy like Josh Hader. So, does that mean that Josh Hader is a bad pitcher? By no means. It does not mean that. Josh Hader is elite. That's why the Padres wanted him. But I just want to show that he's not having as much success as Brewers fans probably think that he's having. They see the 29 saves that's leading MLB. They see the All-Star Game selection, and they're like, yeah, this guy's been great. But realistically, he hasn't been great. This has been the worst year of his career. Now, at the same time, when we look at Taylor Rogers and Dinelson Lamet's baseball reference page, these guys both have negative wins above replacements for this season. Negative 0.3 for Rogers and negative 0.6 for Lamet. Not really good to have negative wins above replacement for these guys. However, knowing the Brewers organization, knowing how they run, and how they can take pitchers and turn them into amazing guys. They could be mediocre, and they can turn them into being fantastic. Knowing that the Brewers can do that, I think that they're going to try and be doing that with Rogers and with Lamet. You see here, Rogers is really close to Hader's save total for the season. He has 28 saves so far this year with the Padres. So they kind of swapped closers in a way. But both of them are struggling. Additionally, he has an 87 ERA plus, which is 10 points lower than what Hader's was. And the 4.35 ERA is pretty comparable to Hader's too. So it's kind of like they swapped two struggling ace relievers who've had rather successful careers up to this point. Look at his career wins above replacement total at 6.1. That's pretty good for a relief pitcher. Also want to point Josh Hader's out, though. Josh Hader so far in his career is a 10.6 wins above replacement for his career in one less season than Rogers. Rogers has 7, and Hader has 6 seasons so far. Dinelson Lamet has had a very interesting career. Started his career as a starter, and he was like really, really good. Even was 4th in the Cy Young Award voting in 2020. But in a transition to a bullpen role in 2021 and 2022 because of injuries, he's been very poor. I think the Brewers probably look at Lamet as more of a long-term investment. Right now, they're probably going to be trying to figure out some mechanical things and try and harness that potential that he has as an elite relief pitcher, and then maybe in the future try to turn him back into the elite starting pitcher that he once was. So far this season, as I mentioned, negative 0.6 WAR is not very good. For his career in 5 seasons, 3.2 wins above replacement. One thing that I want to point out, so since 2017, which was Lamet's rookie season, it was also Hader's rookie season, and Rogers' second season. If you look at Hader's total since 2017, he has the 10.6 wins above replacement. Rogers since 2017 looks like he has 5.4 wins above replacement. So that's like a little bit more than half of what Hader has. And then Lamet has the 3.2. So if you add the 3.2 to the 5.4, that's 8.6. So Rogers and Lamet together have 8.6 wins above replacement since 2017. Hader has 10.1. That is a difference of 1.5 WAR, which that's less than 1 win per season, if that's a 6-season span. So that's not, like, on average, that's not a big difference from player to player. When you look at the entirety of the career, you have to look at the entirety of the career to come up with that number. But when you look at the entirety of the career of all 3 of those players, realistically, the Brewers, yes, they're losing a little bit of those wins, but it's only a win and a half over the course of 6 seasons. That's not that bad. That's much less than 1 win per season. So, yes, again, like I said, you are losing a little bit, but also at the same time, I think the Brewers, they probably have some sort of data that says that they could improve Rogers and Lamet's overall performances just based on some analytical data that they likely have. Additionally, the Brewers will not be losing out on having an elite reliever because they have Devin Williams, who's had a fantastic career so far in his young career. 2020 was the Rookie of the Year award winner and also the Reliever of the Year award winner. And he's been absolutely phenomenal ever since then. This year received his first All-Star selection, and he's been absolutely incredible. 1.59 ERA, 2.58 ERA plus. He's just been unhittable. He has not given up a home run all season long in 43 games pitched. I mean, that's just dirty. It's disgustingly good. Not to mention the 1.9 wins above replacement. So, I mean, that's a difference of almost 2 wins over Hader. And I think Williams will likely slide into being the closer to replace Hader, and he's going to be incredible. Another thing I want to point out quick, I have pulled up here team player value of all the players on the Brewers. So, Josh Hader is right here in the middle with his 0.0 wins above replacement, right? There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 relief pitchers on the Brewers who, during this season, have been better than him, at least according to wins above replacement. Devin Williams, Brad Boxberger, Hobie Milner, those guys have been staples all year long, and they've been great. Luis Perdomo, Peter Sturzelecki, Jandel Gustave, and Brent Suter have all also been better than Hader, at least according to wins above replacement in this particular season. Again, saves do not mean everything. You have to look at the big picture. You have to look at everything. Yes, Hader leads the league in saves, but there's a lot of underlying stats that say he really isn't doing quite as well as people think. There was one other thing I want to point out too, and that is the overall payroll situation that the Brewers have. So the Brewers are a very small market team. Milwaukee, not really some place that makes them a whole lot of money. Because of that, they have to be very restrictive with giving players contracts, understanding how much they're going to pay people. And Josh Hader, he's going to command a lot of money come his free agency, which is coming up, by the way, after the 2023 season. He will be a free agent for the 2024 season. The Brewers are already paying Christian Yelich a ton of money, $26 million per year over the next 7 years. That's a lot of money, especially for the Brewers. Now, Hader is coming down towards the end of his contract. The Brewers have all of 2023 plus the rest of 2022. So that's 1 full season plus the 2 months this year with him. And honestly, now is the perfect time to trade him. You trade him in the offseason. Well, actually, we'll get to that part. But if you trade him at next trade deadline next year, that's only 2 months of results that you're getting out of him. And you don't want that. You want to get at least a full season out of him. But you trade him here at the deadline because Josh Hader has a track record of struggling late in the season in his career. I'm going to pull up his career stats by month. So if you look at April and March, he's been outstanding. Where is it? There it is. 1.57 ERA in April and March in his career. Very, very good. In May, he's even better. 0.77 ERA. That's amazing. June, 1.09 ERA. Again, amazing. So the first 3 months of the season, he's always amazing. July, though, this is where he hits a big snag. 4.85 ERA. He drops off significantly. And August and September and October, again, he's just kind of an average pitcher. He starts really strong, and he's unhittable to begin the year. But as the year goes on, he just gets tired. He loses velocity. He just doesn't pitch as well. Look at these home run totals. In his career, in March, April, May, and June, he has a combined 10 home runs given up. He has more than that in July in his entire career with 15 home runs. I mean, that just goes to show how big of a drop-off it takes from the first half of the season to the second half of the season. So, you want to trade him around the trade deadline. You want to trade him right before he starts playing really poorly, which the Brewers did this season. They trade him at the trade deadline right before he starts playing really bad. In fact, well, he actually is playing really bad this season. Let me pull up the splits so far from this past month. So if you'll see here, this is this season's splits. This season in April and March, 0 ERA. That's as good as it gets. He didn't give up a single run in April or March. Same thing in May. No runs given up in April or March. June saw a little bit of a downtick, 3.38 ERA, but still that's not horrible. The 12.54 ERA in July is what really has hurt him. In literally only 9.1 innings, he's given up 16 hits, 13 runs, all of them earned, and 5 home runs in 9.1 innings. I mean, that is terrible. And if you look at his career track record, it's just going to continue to be bad for the rest of the season. So it makes sense for the Brewers, who are in a playoff race, to trade him right before he starts playing poorly. It makes sense. He's probably not going to be great for the rest of the season. So trade him. He's going to hurt you more than he's going to help you for the rest of the season. So get rid of him. Send him to another team. And the Brewers got 4 really good players in return. So that's most of what I have to say in terms of Josh Hader and how he hasn't really been everything people think he's been so far this season. I understand that he's a fan favorite. He's a fiery closer with long hair who throws close to 100 miles per hour. I mean, he is electric when he's on the field. And, you know, Taylor Rogers isn't necessarily going to provide that same electricity. But when you look at his career stats, he's been really good throughout his career. He was really good on Minnesota. He lost it in San Diego, but maybe the Brewers can unlock that potential that he has again. Dinelson Lamet, it's the same thing. Started really good in his career, tailed off recently, but maybe the Brewers can pull it back out. Additionally, if you're looking for someone who's fiery and exciting, watch Dinelson Lamet pitch. This guy is so fun to watch. More so than Hader, in my opinion. So that's just kind of my spiel. I'm totally understand where Brewers fans are coming from. This definitely sucks to have one of your star players traded, especially when you're in the midst of a playoff hunt. When you look deeper into it, Hader hasn't really been as good as people think this year. Yes, he was selected to the All-Star team, but I literally only think that that was because he leads the league in saves right now. When you look deeper into it, he's really not playing up to his potential. And I think he's going to continue to decline as the season goes on in San Diego, while I think Lamet and Rogers have the potential to harness a role for the Brewers and turn into something really good. Just watch the end of the season. This will be a total win trade for the Brewers. I'm calling it right now. So that's just what I have to say about the whole thing. I live in Wisconsin, so I've seen a lot of people complaining about this and how they're upset that the Brewers traded Hader. But I think that it's going to be okay. Additionally, I think the Brewers still have 1 or 2 more trades left in them to get impact players, particularly for the lineup. So watch out for that. I think the Brewers definitely have a chance to improve and compete for a World Series this year. I really think that they can do it. And honestly, I think that they've improved their bullpen by getting 2 solid relievers instead of having 1 struggling Josh Hader. So thank you all for watching. Really appreciate it. Hit the like button, subscribe down below. Leave a comment letting me know what you guys think about this. Again, I apologize to Brewers fans who are going to be missing a fan favorite, but I really do think that in the long run, this will be for the best. So again, thank you for watching. Have a good day. See you on the next video. Should be coming out with a tier list part 2 for second baseman tomorrow. So be on the lookout for that one. All right. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye-bye.